And indeed, proof of this are the increasingly violent demonstrations during G8 and G20 meetings. And then, of course, when you listen to organizations that represent the people during the different social fora, we see a demonstration of this fact. The very last one was held here in Billing at the beginning of the year. And indeed, I believe that we're increasingly moving towards a situation where it is no longer those who hold political power and who control the resources of our countries who will have the upper hand. While there is still time, I believe that things can change. And what we need to do is enable our people, irrespective of their level of development, to participate in the discussions, participate in decision-making in areas that affect their lives and their future directly. And I do believe that education can help to so do. And in places where the people have been mobilized through social movements to put forward their vision, their opinion, and their claims in dealing with the powerful private organizations, progress has been made and there has been improvement in democratic management of resources. The social, economic, and political history of Latin America gives us examples of strategies that can be used by people because absolute poverty goes beyond material poverty, but abject poverty is what is born of a refusal of meeting the aspirations of the people. This poverty is very difficult to overcome. In Nairobi, we said that the current situation, because of the economic crisis and the worsening of poverty, we needed to rethink the fundamentals of development. We needed to come forward with a new anchor for education and for schooling. And since we are in charge of the education of adults, this is a major advantage. We can work in such a way that each educational environment will be an opportunity to express knowledge, to express the needs of people, and for adults to say what their choices are. The current crisis, and in particular the financial crisis, and with its possible repercussions on aid internationally, is an opportunity, is an unprecedented opportunity for countries of the South, in particular those from sub-Saharan Africa, to wake up and start moving towards alternative strategies. And it is only in so doing that education will once again become quality education, because it will help to develop societies where there is a rule of law, where economic and social progress is the fruit of shared responsibility. So what kind of strategy can we put in place so we can have educational policies that will promote inclusive and sustainable development? Concepts, objectives, and modalities, be they technical, administrative, financial, budgetary in nature, should no longer be in the hand of a bureaucratic or political class, in the hands of experts and specialists. National development should become the concern of all the people, and all its components should be opened up to promote dialogue, to promote discussion, to promote choices that take on board the needs of everyone. And this is how the economies and political institutions of countries where there is a very high living standard were put in place. Countries where you have the rule of law and high living standards. We need to have real citizenship where people can participate at local level in discussions and in choices that are made on concrete issues that deal with the economy, with social, with social issues, because it's about their own lives. With such a perspective, we can see how useful adult education would be to mobilize the people. And so all events, all forms of information will give them an opportunity to dialogue and to learn about matters that relate to their lives, that relate to their local community, and to the nation. But of course, this means that a number of elements must be in place. First and foremost, that the public authorities recognize the legitimacy of all the different stakeholders, that they should participate in defining local, national, and international policies, defining the rules as well. This means, of course, that non-formal educational programs should focus on helping the underprivileged stakeholders to understand and deal with the challenges that underpin the achievement of their economic, social, cultural, and environmental as well as political rights. And this, of course, means, finally, that we are in agreement. We accept the diversity of knowledge. We accept local knowledge and promote it. And that we also accept to promote new forms of knowledge, new forms of information, over and above the ones that we're used to dealing with traditionally. Now, all these can only be done if we are willing to promote synergy and promote connections between all the different departments, the public authorities, the private organizations, and social movements that promote innovation and different alternatives. And these strategies will lead to societal change and positive economic growth. If we manage to implement them, they will help to further weaken the systems which strangle the potential of the people and impede their ambition and limit them to the role of consumers of the deteriorated products of globalization and from the products that come from so-called developed countries. And it is only in so doing that education will go back to being quality education and political education, because then it will help in developing societies where there is a rule of law, where economic and social progress is the fruit of shared responsibility. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, it is our view that whatever we do educationally must focus on developing social responsibility, developing the expertise of the people at local level in terms of the choices and the products that made available to them. Without this, we will be impoverishing the local resources, human resources, physical resources, intellectual resources, philosophical resources, and moral resources. And this is why social movements play an ethical role in their struggle, because what they are doing is changing the kind of relations we have, changing the principles that underpin what we do. It's about changing our whole concept of society. And when we're able to put in place the right conditions socially to bring in the different stakeholders and give them a sense of responsibility in every area, in terms of hygiene, management of waste, public health, agriculture, even in terms of international negotiations, irrespective of the sector, when we are able to put in place the right conditions to involve the stakeholders, then we do arrive at making progress, and there is a major social impact. And that is why education, which is what Enda Monde has been using as its major tool since it was set up, should be based on trust. We must trust the potential, the creativity, and the dynamism of the local stakeholders. We must believe in them, believe that they can change their own environment, change their own situation, improve their own skills for a better future. And that is why adult education can then become a major tool to move us towards sustainable, positive change. Thank you very much for your attention.